Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tommy with another Starcraft Remastered replay cast from the South Korean ladder. We have a very recent replays here in between the two pro players. Let me just start by introducing the players to you guys. As you are spawning here in the upper left part in the brown, it is a barcode player. Sadly, I don't know who this pro is. But of course, spawning here in the lower right, in the white, it is Flash, once again with his AK, with the barcode and the W behind. So it should be a very interesting game. As you can see from the timer, quite a long replay around the 20-minute mark. And yes, we are once again onto a 4 spawning location map. So let's just see exactly what is going to happen. We have the production tab once again here into the upper left part. And we are going to be checking out the build orders just like we do in the previous replays. We see a very normal build order here by Flash with a supply depot. Same can be set here for the Protoss with his pylon. So let's just check the placement here from the pylon. It's quite close towards the main. So no intentions yet here for both players to actually block the expansion, as it should be, of course. Continued with a gateway and very likely here for Flash with a barracks. So yeah, nothing out of the ordinary yet. It looks like Flash now moving out, perhaps block the entrance here, to perhaps block the expansion here a little bit with a barracks. And still, interesting enough, there is no gateway here for the Protoss. So this will be very likely him going for a Nexus first build order. Of course, given the fact that it is a 4 spawning location map, this is of course a possibility here for the Protoss. However, a very risky one, given the fact that Flash is now scouting the map, and if he would have found this build order for the Protoss might have been into some early trouble, as Flash of course has shown us in previous replays here onto this channel that he really likes to rush the Protoss with a bunker rush, followed with some Marines with a Vulture or two. So quite a deadly push, which has enabled him in many cases to snipe this expansion right here. So quite a greedy gameplay here by the Protoss. I really like that. Risky a little bit, but the 4 spawning location map gives you of course this possibility, and also a lucky scout here for the Protoss as he's moving now forward with his probe next to the barracks. Let's have a look at Flash. Sadly for him, a pretty much failed scouting. I believe he's now moving towards the lower left part. And yeah, the game continues. A nice scouting here for the Protoss. Indeed, sees the gas. Of course, Flash had to take the gas, given the fact that the probe might have stolen that from him. And now the Marine will be able to do some good damage towards this probe right here. So yeah, pretty interesting early game we have here. The greedy gameplay from the Protoss. No cybernetic score for him yet. He might go for some zealots early on to be protected versus a possible rush here by Flash. But of course, Flash scouting the map quite late, scouting for him at around the 4-minute mark. I believe he's going to arrive towards the expansion point right here, as there we have the cybernetic score here for the Protoss. So with that, the Protoss might have an early economic advantage against the opponent, and also sadly here for Flash, bad scouting, but of course it's always a luck game into the scouting, as he now sees the expansion. He really wants to know, of course, what's into the main. But a great block here by the Protoss, inflicting good damage, and he really wants to snipe this one SCV. In comes the SCV. Should of course be able to see, perhaps he saw the cybernetic score there, but didn't see any other buildings in the back. And also a nice scouting here by the Protoss with an interesting cheesy gameplay here by him, as he's adding the robotics facility bay here into this area. So we might see some shuttle gameplay here with some reaver. Could be a possibility for him. Of course, Flash doesn't know about that hidden robotics facility base, so this could be quite a deadly push by the Protoss versus Flash. Of course, there is no engineering bay yet here for Flash. He is just going for some factories. Of course, he's going to transition into some mech gameplay here versus the opponent, as Flash once again sending out a SCV. He really wants to know what exactly is into the main from the Protoss. I believe the way is going to be pretty much shut here by the Protoss with his Zealot and a Dragoon, so it's going to be very hard for this SCV to move here forward. Great micro here by the Protoss, immediately taking out the SCV. And with that, the problem here for Flash is that he doesn't know where or if there is a robotics facility bay, or what exactly is into the main from the Protoss. Could be even a Templar archive for him, Citadel of Adun, but the Protoss nicely hiding his robotics facility bay with a shuttle here. He's also going for a support base, so we might see some early reaver attack happening very soon. There is his robotics facility, his support bay, and no other SCVs are being sent out here for Flash. as one Dragoon is just closing here forward to inflict a little bit of damage against the Marines from Flash. So yeah, with that, Flash of course might expect some harassment by the opponent. He will very likely go into an engineering bay to have some detection against possible Dark Templars, to have some turrets against the shuttle gameplay. There we have the reaver getting produced here for the Protoss with even shuttle movement speed, as still this mini base right here from the Protoss has not been detected by Flash. Now Flash is deciding to be aggressive. He really wants to know what exactly is going on into the main from the Protoss. He has no satellite available yet, so quite a risky push by him, as there are the defenses here for the Protoss. We even have a shield battery for him. It's looking actually very good. Of course, siege tank ability has not been done yet. Speed for the Vulture has however been done, and with that I believe the Protoss will very likely hold with his shield battery. Quite a great hold by him. Quite a strong push here as well here by Flash, but the Marines have been taken out immediately. The wall off is nicely getting completed here for Flash, sorry, for the Protoss. And there we have the continuation here as more and more Vultures are going to be taken out. SCV is also going to be taken out. The probes now have to fight, so quite a strong engagement here by both players, as reinforcements do pull here forward. At the same time we also have a Vulture here into this location that is being taken out. And with that, only a couple of mines are being remained here for Flash with 2 Vultures and the 1 tank. Wait, hold on, we actually see the reaction here now by the Protoss with his reaver as he's moving forward. Flash dropping to 34 walkers as more and more damage is being taken by the economy. Great shots, and yeah, the harassment continues here. Lots and lots of mining time has been lost, as the shuttle speed will also finish on time very soon. So yeah, let's just see if Flash can do something here against the economy from the Protoss. Some probes will be sniped. They will have to fight now. In the end, he's going to be able to hold. And in the end, both players still at 36 workers. So a good harassment by both of them. Nice counter gameplay with the reaver by the Protoss. But in the end, Flash holds with some tanks at home, as lots and lots of SCV are still being left alive. So a pretty balanced harassment by both players. We'll have some mines here, so the Protoss needs to be careful not to step into them. So quite an interesting early game we have here, as it's still anyone's game, of course. Flash now finally finding the hidden base, going straight for the pylon, as the reaver will of course be able to react, taking some good shots, almost sniping this one. Tank now finally being able to take it out, as we have the speed now completed for the Protoss. And in the same time he also decides to go for a second expansion there. So very good gameplay here by the Protoss, as Flash is now being forced to defend. He needs some units here just in case another drop is about to happen here for the opponent. So yeah, with that, quite a good game here by this Protoss. Quite a great game. He just needs to be careful not to activate those mines. A very good micro here for the Protoss, as the tank is taking more and more damage. And with that, he's being taken out, and still his base is pretty much alive here, as the shuttle continues here to fly over. And we also see some Dragoons ready to back up this attack from the Protoss. So yeah, still some turrets are getting of course placed here, but the reaver is nicely getting dropped here, picking up a couple of units. Very good gameplay here by the Protoss, as Flash is being forced now to defend, and we slowly but steadily close towards the 10-minute mark. So with this one reaver shuttle, of course, the Protoss keeps the Terran at bay, he keeps him at home. Is there going to be a timing push, perhaps a delayed timing push? Not that many Vultures being available here for Flash, as a very good control here from the Protoss, nicely defending those bases with his Dragoons. And the observers also give some great visuality here for his units. So yeah, let's see how the game is going to continue. Quite a hard game here for Flash. Early great harassment here by the Protoss versus him. Finally some Vultures do get added, and in the end now finally Flash will be able to take out this base right here. But with that, even better here for the Protoss is still winning some time, as Flash will of course have to waste around 20 to 30 seconds in order to take out this expansion. At the same time we see a counter with the shuttle here. We do see the Dragoons moving out, but they do step into some mines. So still quite interesting game, as of course the Vultures now being sent here forward to defend versus all of the Dragoons. It could be a great flank here by Flash. Some of the Dragoons are pretty much hurt, Let's see how this is going to unfold. The lights, of course, very bad versus the tanks, the dragoons. Now the tanks in the back are nicely hidden behind this wall of. Well, let's just see how this game is going to continue. Just have to pause it here for a small moment. Okay, and I'm back here after a small break. So yeah, let's just see how the game is going to continue. The Protoss very active here, very present onto the map, going for the second expansion here from Flash as he's moving forward, targeting the tanks really nicely, of course taking some damage as he's getting now surrounded here by Flash, but the reavers in the back will of course be the real damage dealers. At the same time the tanks have been sniped, so very good attack here by the Protoss once again. Losing, however, some dragoons. He's trying, of course, to stop the expansion here from Flash. So very good mission here by him, but in the end, he's getting surrounded slowly but steadily. So really being able to lose so many units here, to just sacrifice so many units as the tanks will move now forward. And even one reaver, I believe, has been sniped. The second one also very low. So quite a suicide mission here for the Protoss. But he really wanted to inflict economic damage against Flash. And with that, the Protoss also buying some time for his expansion right here and for the expansion right here into this location. So in the end, sacrificing many units. As let's just check the upgrades very quickly. One weapons upgrade here for Flash, as still the Protoss is not being done. No upgrades for him, interesting enough, as he's sending out another wave from Zealots in the front, looking up the mines, trying to deal some good damage against the tanks. And now once again a wave of Zealots are moving here forward. But in the end, I believe Flash should be able to hold. However, the Protoss seems to be able to sacrifice more units here moving forward. Flash is nicely trying to block the entrance with some vultures, with some mines, as it's pretty much a great attack here once again by the Protoss, with the reaver in the back being able to inflict good damage against the economy once again here for Flash. So the Protoss risking a lot, being able to lose some units, but in the end he's able to secure the expansion point. He's able to deal more and more damage against Flash's units, and now finally some SCVs will be transferred here. But if you look at the worker count, Flash pretty much behind, and with that of course a timing push is not ready, it's not being enabled by him. The Protoss very smartly sending out wave after wave of units here forward against Flash, so Flash is now being forced to stay back to defend, and he's not able to do one of his known timing pushes against the opponent, as the Protoss is very close by with his units. Let's not forget that he has 2 more bases here versus Flash, one more base now, but delaying this expansion very much. So having the economic advantage versus the opponent, also the supply advantage versus the opponent. So a very interesting Protoss player here, very aggressive Protoss player, forcing actually Flash to stay behind with a very sneaky hidden robotics facility bay that was very close for him versus Flash. And yeah, with that now Flash has to of course secure the expansion right here. In the meantime, the Protoss just pretty much patrolling here the map, sending another shuttle forward with High Templars and with Zealots. So very interesting game here once again, a very interesting decision here by the Protoss. Is he going to be able to deal some damage against the economy? We're about to find out, as the High Templars are nicely getting dropped here, and Flash once again losing so many SCVs. Around 4 to 5 SCVs have been lost, so very good harassment by the opponent, as lots and lots of SCVs are still in the red right here. So very good stuff by the Protoss, keeping Flash at bay, keeping him at home. Flash of course with a good defense, with those mines all scattered all over the map, with some tanks on siege mode, but the Protoss still transferring some probes here, having a good map control, having a good presence. With that he is forcing of course Flash to stay back at home. Flash with lots and lots of factories here at home, but is it going to be enough against good map control here by the Protoss. Let's just check his upgrades very quickly. Just one weapons upgrade. Let's just check Flash 1-1, and more upgrades are followed. 2 weapons upgrades here for him. So a very interesting game, but the Protoss just keeps on expanding. So Flash, in the end, he might have to try to eventually move out against the harassment here, against the macro game by the Protoss, as we slowly but steadily close towards the 15-minute mark. So yeah, it's still of course anyone's game, but a very hard game here for Flash, as he's getting forced to defend. And now we even have more and more high templars here onto the ground versus the units from Flash. Let's see if this is going to work out here for the Protoss. Again, he has 2 shuttles with zealots, going to be able to clear the mines slowly but steadily, even bringing some high templars here forward. Very aggressive stuff here by the Protoss, as another drop is happening here with the zealots in the front, soaking up the first damage shots, and in come the attack, as now even more and more high templars are being available in the back. The zealots are in the front, lots and lots of damage is being taken here once again by Flash, as he has to bring up perhaps his reinforcements from the other side. So very good push once again, and there is the great high tempo storm here by the Protoss, so punishing the economy once again from the opponent, dealing more and more damage. The Dragoons also nicely located here, and yet another storm against those SCVs. Very well executed by the Protoss, showing us the strengths of the high templars actually against the economy, against the SCV, and even against those tanks on the ground. And at the same time, he just keeps on expanding, and sadly here for Flash, he's not really being able to punish this expansion. Perhaps with some groups of vultures he might move out, but the way is pretty much shut here. There's 2 cannons into this location. What exactly can Flash do against such a good macro game by the opponent? Even this location you see is nicely getting blocked with some cannons, so pretty much hard for those vultures against those cannons, because of course the cannons are very good counter against all of those vultures by the opponent. So 70 workers here for the Protoss versus the only 56 here from the opponent. Finally in comes some vultures. They will be able to deal some damage versus the Protoss, and they might even be successful here into taking out the base. But in comes the shuttle with some zealots actually here for him, no reavers, and with that finally Flash with a first victory against the macro game from the Protoss. Very nice executed by him, but in come the Dragoons from the back, and I believe those Dragoons will be enough to take out all of those vultures here. They would have to first clear the mines, and in the end they will of course be able to trap perhaps those vultures in the back. The other Dragoons are a great counter indeed against so many vultures. With that, we see some movement happening here for Flash as he's moving forward with the tanks. Flash is trying to buy more and more time, but the shuttle sees of course every movement. At the same time, another move out here with the vultures. This time 4 cannons right here. He might be successful to attack there. Great placement after those mines, so he will get some good shots against the Dragoons. Yeah, what quite a chaotic all of a sudden scene as Flash is now moving forward with the tanks. And finally with that he should be able to take out the first newly established base from the Protoss. A very good move here by him, but is it going to be enough, as his economy has really suffered a lot? So in comes the Protoss. But there's a nice double B line here of tanks created by Flash, but now we have so many shuttles here into the air. 5 shuttles for the Protoss, as he's pretty much ignoring the movement out here by Flash, and I believe he's going to try to attack the newly established base here by Flash. So this could be very deadly, as the units will soon unfold. And there we have the great splash damage once again with the high Templar storms. Lots and lots of zealots here, indeed quite chaotic scenes, as once again so much mining time has been lost here by Flash. And Flash reacting nicely with the defensive matrix. At the same time we have another attack here by Flash. He's trying of course to inflict more and more damage towards the newly established base. Even an Archon has been added here by the Protoss versus Flash. So lots and lots of action happening here left and right. Flash at 55 workers here versus the also 48 here for the Protoss. So slowly but steadily the Protoss is also losing lots and lots of economy. We have a very close game here in between the two pros. So who is going to be the victor here? It's still anyone's game. Let's check the upgrades once again. 2-3, so very good upgrades here for Flash versus the opponent. But is it going to be enough? As another great storm has been casted here by him, and the SCVs will once again be targeted. So very good stuff. In the meantime, Flash is moving here forward towards the other newly established base. So slowly but steadily Flash is gaining more and more of a momentum, snapping more and more of the newly established bases here from the opponent. But in comes the zealots. A great position here however for Flash on the high ground. Not all of those zealots are getting some good connections. Finally we do have some great storms happening here for the Protoss, as he's being able to take out so many of those tanks, but still some tanks are being left alive. And with that, Flash is now moving more and more forward against the opponent, being able to once again nicely multitasking here. But the Protoss seems like he's not done. He's going to add another wave of a couple of zealots here, and the High Templars are moving here from the back. But is it going to be enough? Great double High Templar storm here. Still some tanks are being left alive as reinforcements are pouring in from the back here for the opponent. With that, very soon Flash should of course be able to take out the newly established base, and in come more and more zealots with some dragoons in the back. So the Protoss pretty much throwing everything he has versus Flash, and somehow he is being able to take out those units as the reinforcements are now arriving on time. It's just a couple of tanks, and the high ground is now pretty much in control for the Protoss, because we still have the 2 shuttles here forgotten for the Protoss. But importantly for him, he's able to defend one of the newly established bases. His base could have also been targeted here by Flash. Yeah, very interesting game, as slowly but steadily we're closing towards the end game right here. Still anyone's game, like I told you, who is going to be the victor, as the shuttles are now being damaged. But the High Templar storm once again with a great storm. So this harassment here by the Protoss very strong versus Flash. In the end, it has been finally taken out. But like I told you, importantly enough, the bases are being secured here by the Protoss, and he has a little bit more workers here than the opponent. Is it going to be enough? Let's check his main a little bit. Lots and lots of gateways of course here for the Protoss, and still many factories as well here for Flash. So yeah, let's see what is going to happen here. Perhaps the Protoss regrouping into the center of the map just to go for the newly established base by Flash. We're about to find out if it's going to be successful. Quite a small choke point here. So where exactly is the Protoss going to attack? Lots and lots of shuttles are still being available for him. Lots and lots of units here as well, as the tanks are of course waiting for the Protoss to attack. The shuttles are now being targeted by the Goliaths. The zealots are getting dropped straight here forward. There we have the High Templar storms. Lots and lots of damage once again, as the tanks pretty much get obliterated here from the units from the Protoss. But in the end, Flash does hold. The reinforcements are on time. So what a crazy game indeed. And in the end, the Protoss is the one GGing out. What a crazy intense game we have here in between the Protoss and in between Flash. Flash somehow in the end was able to hold. His economy is still holding strong. Perhaps the Protoss could have stayed a little bit more into the game, but I guess he just pretty much had enough. I guess he just thought that the upgrades were much better here for him, as he was still on 0-0 upgrades. So those tanks quite deadly with 2 to 3. And yeah, with that, the Flash with a great defense. Very abusive gameplay here by the Protoss, but in the end, Flash still being able to hold and take this game. What a crazy game we have here indeed. Let's just check the stats very quickly, just in case you guys are interested. Very nice game here by both players, especially by the Protoss with a great harassment versus the opponent. In the end, Flash at one point deciding to move out. A very wise decision by him, inflicting damage towards the economy and towards the macro game from the Protoss. And with that, slowly but steadily crippling here the Protoss, and also some lucky micro here by Flash with those SCVs out of the High Templar storms. Could have of course been very different. So yeah, in the end, a very good game here by both players. I don't know who the barcode is, but he played really well. Flash being able to take this game, a very hard game here for him, quite a stressful game here for him, but in the end he was the one being the victor. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Tommy signing out.